Well, not only did Craig Jones put on one of the most successful grappling events of all time, but it turns out he put on one of the most influential ones as well. Guys, this is Sean with PDMA, and today we're going to be talking about CJI. And I know a lot of you are like, oh my god, will this guy stop talking about CJI? Well, no, I will not. And no, it's not because Craig Jones is paying me, but Craig, if you're listening, you know. No. Today we're going to be talking about CJI because this weekend I was fortunate enough to attend the Zach Edwards Memorial event put on by Finishers in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And something really interesting happened with this card. Now, if you know Finishers as an organization, typically their cards are EBI Ruleset. But this card changed it up a little bit. They went with the first half of the card, their traditional Finisher sub-only EBI style rules. The second half of the card, they did CJI rules. And here's why I think that's interesting. So if you aren't aware, Finishers is run by someone named Zach Meslaney. Now, Zach is a 10th Planet Black Belt, and pertinent to this discussion, Zach is a CJI judge. He was one of the judges at the inaugural event. I've talked about him on this channel before. This is a brand new rule set to our sport. And as you know, if you've been around the sport for any amount of time, we have so many rule sets in the sport. And I understand why. It's very difficult to come up with a good rule set that pleases everybody in submission grappling. But this is a new rule set. And now we're seeing it adopted by other organizations besides just CJI. Now, we've seen this before, right? There's a lot of, especially local gi competitions, they mirror IBJJF, quite a bit. And now you're seeing more and more no-gi competitions mirror ADCC scoring. Even if they're not doing the exact ADCC rule set, the scoring is similar. Well, now we're seeing the influence of CJI in these more local tournaments. Now, Finishers is a pretty big event, right? They get people from all over the US and they've had international competitors before. So it's not like, quite like a Naga or Grappling Industries or something like that, but it's a little more local than something like a CJI. A lot of the competitors that compete are from the area, and they appeal to people local, especially local people trying to make a name for themselves in the competition scene. So why is it even interesting that this new rule set is being adopted? Now, you could be saying, okay, well, Zach's a CJI judge. He had a hand in making the rules. Maybe that's why it's... Yes. And that's definitely part of it, right? Like, Zach has invested time and effort into this rule set. He understands the rule set. He helped develop the rule set. So, of course, he wants to see how this rule set plays out. But what I find very interesting is rule sets affect how people train. Now, there might be some people out there that say, like, I don't care what the rule set is. I'm just going to go in, affect my gameplay. And that's great. Like, some people are good. Some people can do that. That's not how I do it, though. And I don't think that's how a lot of people do it. I think when I'm prepping for a tournament and when I know when a lot of my friends are prepping for tournaments, I'm training with the rule set in mind. Okay, in this particular scoring system, X, Y, and Z scores points, so I need to make sure I'm doing X, Y, and Z and kind of mold it into my already existing game. So now I think we're gonna start to see people training specifically for this CJI rule set. And how we've seen this go in the past is there is a sort of cascading avalanche effect, right? Because, okay, the organization says, okay, we're going to do a CJI rule set, and competitors train for a CJI rule set, and now all the other organizations see all these competitors training for a CJI rule set, so they might be more likely to implement a CJI rule set. Now, of course, that's a very oversimplified version, and some organizations are going to say, well, we already have a good rule set, and I agree with them. I don't think there's any need for anybody to really change their rule set if they have a good rule set. But more of the point I'm making here is that this one event, I mean, if you think about it, it was one event. There was no CJI Opens, there was no CJI trials. This was just the CJI world, so to speak. And this one major event is now influencing the sport jiu-jitsu culture as a whole. And rules aren't the only way that it's doing this. So coincidentally enough, I had planned on recording this video today. I had all my notes done last night. I had everything set up, ready to go. And then my friend texted me this morning and he said, hey, why don't you come up and train at my gym today? And we've been trying to get together for some time. So I said, all right, I'll go up. They had an 11:30 class. So I drove up to Warminster, Pennsylvania to Movement Art Jiu-Jitsu, which if you guys are in that area and haven't checked that gym out, it is awesome. Danny and Nick are the coolest guys. They run a great class, but we're not here for me to plug good gyms. We're here to talk about CJI. But it's relevant because I went up there and I went in, I signed the waiver, went over to the training area, and I noticed something, and it was a CJI alley style wall built right on the edge of the mat so that their competitors and the people that train there can practice for a CJI style event that takes place in like an alley with the sloped walls and everything. And of course, they're not the first gym to build this. We've all seen pictures of so many gyms building these walls and preparing for a CJI style event, which in my opinion is absolutely nuts. And not nuts in that I think they shouldn't be doing it, nuts in the fact that this event happened a month ago. And when this event happened, it's not like Craig Jones came out and said, okay, we're going to do all these CJI style, opens and trials, and it's coming to a city near you, and we're going to bring the alley in. He didn't say any of that. As far as we all know, sounds like there's going to be one next year, but, they haven't made any official announcement yet. But I find this super interesting because this event that, again, was actually about a month ago at the time I'm recording this video, has permeated our culture so much. In the past week, I went to an event that used the CJI Ruleset, and I trained at a gym that had the CJI alley-style walls. Now, you might be saying, if you're a crazy person, that maybe they did that because karate combat. And hey, they didn't do that because of karate combat, right? We all know that, and no disrespect to karate combat, they actually put on some cool grappling matches, but, they're not building it so that their competitors can train for karate combat. They're doing it so their competitors can train for CJI. And I can't overstate this enough. CJI was a month ago. Gyms are dumping money into this. So what I think this signals, to wrap this all up, is that CJI is here to stay. And now you might be saying, Sean, that's not a hot take. That's the stupidest take you could have taken from this. And okay, fair enough. But I don't think we are quite understanding what that means. We are going to start seeing local grappling organizations use the CJI Ruleset. We might be on the cusp of seeing alleys built. And now we've all gone to jiu-jitsu competitions inside of like a gym or something like that. And they're going to figure out a way to now have portable alley walls. I think that's going to be the future of competitive jiu-jitsu. There will still be flat, no wall jiu-jitsu using ADCC or IBJJF style rules. That I am 100% positive of. But a serious competitor has now entered the arena. If you guys like this style of content and you want more BJJ news, match breakdowns, and videos like this, go ahead and click that subscribe button. That's what lets me know that I'm making the right kind of content here. If you like this video and you want to go ahead and click the like button, that's cool. And if you didn't like it, you can click the dislike button. With all that being said, I'm going to sign off. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.